I'm gonna do another book review. This time I'm gonna talk about one of my favorite books of all time. Let me show ya. The First King of Hollywood by Tracey. It's about Douglas Fairbanks Sr., the first Douglas Fairbanks, and I just love the cover of it. It's so cool. The cover is just so cool. It's one of my favorite book covers. And I love the book because it tells about his life. And I ended up admiring him even more than I already did before. It talks about his childhood in great detail. Well, not really great detail, but there's an intro. It talks about he kind of always wanted to be an actor. He didn't really have a normal childhood. I don't want to give away too much about the book. I'm trying not to make this too long either, because I know some people don't like really long videos. I used to be one of them. He tried working, I believe, at a factory, but he didn't like it and it wasn't fulfilling to him, so then he quit. And then he ended up, I think he did it on a whim. He went into acting on a whim or something. On a whim. I love that phrase, on a whim. It just sounds so cool, on a whim. He was in a play, and then after that, while he was doing the lines and everything, and this is back maybe when he's probably a teenager age. And he really liked it, and he wanted to do it again, and he liked the feeling of acting in front of other people, and he liked just acting a lot. And then it talks about how he was married before he met Mary Pickford. It talks about he was kind of a playful kind of personality, where he wouldn't pull pranks on people, but he kind of did, but not where other people could get severely injured or anything. But this was back when he was younger, though, I want to say as a teenager maybe, so it kind of makes sense why he would be kind of not really because your brain's not, and this is my opinion anyway, your brain's not fully developed when you're a teenager. That's just my personal opinion. So it makes sense why he wouldn't be too sure of how his behavior affects other people. And Douglas Fairbanks was always very he was always very kind of idealistic, and he was very it was he had theater the center of his life. Acting was his entire life. And he really loved it. That's how much passion and drive he had for it. He really wanted to be an actor. Then it talks about Triangle Company. It talks about him meeting Charlie Chaplin and Mary Pickford, and how they started United Artists, which was the first kind of it's very important too, because it was kind of the first union, one of the first unions. I don't want to say the first union because I'm not positive, but it was one of the first unions of actors they had back then. And it was about something about their contracts or something they disagreed with the studio, so they were they had meetings with the studio people, and they had them they would talk about it in person. So I thought that was really brave of them and really smart of them, all three of them, to do. And it talked about how him and Mary Pickford, how they met. It talks about how they fell in love with each other. It talked about Charlie Chaplin was kind of one of his friends. They were really good friends. They were in business together. And Douglas Fairbanks was very he had a certain charisma to him, and people really liked his playful nature, and they really liked that about him, that he was very and he even wrote a book about being happy, and for its time it was, and which I never knew, that he was an author. He actually wrote a book, and it's the book was, and I sincerely believe that like he really wanted to bring joy into other people's lives, and that's why I really like Douglas Fairbanks too, because he liked bringing joy into other people's lives by entertaining them and making them laugh. You know, he was an entertainer, and he wrote a book, and it was, I forget the title of the book exactly off the top of my head, but it was about like the nature of like being happy and feeling happy. And I thought this was like really cool that he wrote a book about this, because like he was like one of the first people, I feel like, to touch on the subject of happiness and like what it feels like to it wasn't like it wasn't like autobiographical, I don't think. It was more like he was just writing down his ideas about like happiness and stuff, and you know, and enjoying your life basically, you know. I can't really say, I haven't read it personally, but like he has some really good quotes in there. I've read it like off the internet, like some of the quotes that were inside of his book. And he was in silent movies too, so I just think that was like really cool. Silent movies are so cool because they have a lot of like emotion in them, and I just love silent films too. Let's see, what else can I talk about this book? And I really liked it because it had photos in here, like from when he was like a Three Musketeer. I don't know if I can show many of them, or if I'll get in trouble, but it shows him like in his acting career. Oh, and there's a good photo of him and Charlie Chaplin. Look, can you see it? And they're like shining his shoes. And oh, this is his handwriting. I guess this is his handwriting. His handwriting's messy like mine is, kind of. This makes me feel less alone. This was his handwriting, I guess. Douglas Fairbanks. So that's kind of cool. And he has a poster of Robin Hood. He was the first Robin Hood, also. Let's see what else there is. Oh, there's a good picture of him and Mary Pickford. They're like not on a boat. Why do I want to say on a boat? They're like in a car, and they're waving at people, and they're standing, which you're not supposed to do. But they were just, I think it was like maybe during like from a honeymoon. Okay, that's why they're so happy. Okay, now I'm embarrassed. Okay. They're waving hi to the people, and now I'm blushing. Oh gosh. Oh my gosh, that's embarrassing. Okay. Then he's the poster of the Three Musketeers. It shows pictures of him in several movies that he was in, and some of the actresses that he acted with, like Sylvia Sidney, I want to say. Yeah, I think that was her name. I think so. Or maybe her name was just Sylvia. And it was like some other lady who was Sylvia Sidney. Maybe it was like someone else, but like I want to say, because I think there was an actress named Sylvia Sidney back then. I just didn't realize she was like a silent film star. Because like I've read about it on the internet before, so that's how I know. Oh, and also he liked golfing too. I don't know why I said too, because I'm not a big fan of golfing, but he liked golfing. I think it's because it like relaxed him. I think that's why he liked it, and it took him like away from like his worries and stuff. So that's why he would golf and stuff. It doesn't say that in the book. That's just my personal opinion about it. So I think that's like really cool. Like he has like different aspects of his personality that I never would have. Like, if someone would have told me that, I would not have believed them. And he was very much, I think his zodiac sign was like a Gemini, and they're very much, they're all about, not all about, but like, he was very, like, active in his life. Meaning, like, he liked traveling and going different places and meeting people, and he was naturally very outgoing and, like, charismatic, which I wish I was kind of more that way, and I guess it just takes practice or something. But yeah, what else do I want to say about the book? I can't pronounce the author's name, Tracey Goessel. I spelled her last name is Goessel. So I don't know if it's pronounced Goessel, maybe. And then it has a filmography in the back, which I really loved, of like all of Douglas. She did a lot of research. Let me show you how thick this book is. She did a lot of research for this too, and that's what I really love about the book too. She did a lot of research for this book, and I really love the cover of it. It is so cool. It is so cool, you guys. It is like one of my favorite book covers. One of my favorite book covers. He's like sitting on a table, and it's called The First King of Hollywood, The Life of Douglas Fairbanks. And should I talk about my least favorite book? Or no? Nah, I'll save that for another video, I guess. This one was just about Douglas Fairbanks, really. And I liked him too because he cared about other people, and he entertained them by making them laugh. And I think he was one of those people who like he loved like making other people feel better. And I think that's why he became an actor. Even though like it doesn't say that in the book, it's like my part is crooked. Sorry. But it's what I could kind of like get the gist like from when I was reading it. That's kind of like the ideas that were popping into my head, that he loved entertaining other people and making them feel better about, their lives, and just like making them feel better in general. And he loved laughing, and he loved to laugh and make other people laugh, and I think that's really admirable of him.